comic addict. It's Joe from Black Box Silver and Bronze, and I've got a comic haul to share with you today. Let's check them out. All right, comic addicts, I've got a stack of books here from a bunch of different places, and the biggest part of it was $1 or less than $1 haul from a place near me called McKay's Books. Both my sons were visiting for Thanksgiving, and my older son was here for 10 days. And one day he wanted to go to a bookstore. I told him, I know about this used bookstore. Let's go. So McKay's is a used bookstore, but they have more than that. They have shelves and shelves of used books. They have a mezzanine around the top that's got like record albums and 45s and DVDs, comics, graphic novels. And then I found this time too, they have rows of puzzles. They have rows of old board games. It was really cool. So while my son was looking through the books, I went up to dig through the comics. They have them organized pretty well. They have a section that's all Marvel, boxes and boxes of Marvel. Then a section of boxes and boxes of DC. Then they have in boxes of Independent. Then they have children's section, and they have bargain section. And I always start in the bargain section and the children's section because I find great stuff that I like in there. So these first couple of books were only $0.25 a piece, so not even $1. And I got Justice Society of America, #5. I love these. They're really fun reads. And this says it's part 5 of 8. So I was digging. I was hoping I could find more parts to it. And I found part 3 of 8, issue #3. Those were the only 2 I found, but that's a good start for $0.25 a piece. And then I found some Spire Christian comics, which I love adding. This one is in pretty rough shape, but it was only $0.25. So it's got some serious water damage. And when I got it home and took it out of the bag, it's got this piece missing and a big tear there. There's some kind of black ink or marker on there, but it's complete. And I like finding these, especially for $0.25. And I was able to get this one for $0.25 as well, The Prodigal Son. And I didn't have either of these yet, so I was really happy to get these. This one didn't come in a bag. It was a sticker on it, but it must have been a fresh sticker because I was able to peel it off very quickly. This one also had a sticker on it, another $0.25, The Ballad of Sleeping Beauty. And this is issue #1. It was given out on Free Comic Book Day. I have like 2 or 3 of the later issues. It's a Western, and it's got some good art in it. I mean, I like the color palettes that they're using. And, I'm hoping to hunt these down so I could read the story. So I found that one as well. So those are my 25-cent comics. And then I found these for 50 cents. And here's something I had never seen before. Gene Roddenberry's Lost Universe. This is issue #4. There are actually a couple of issues of this series in there, but I just loved the cover on this one. The colors, the action, the pile of skeletons behind the girl, the good girl art. I mean, this one just really caught my eye for 50 cents. I love that. And it looks pretty interesting. The art inside is decent, very colorful. I found this Buck Rogers. This was also a Free Comic Day book, but look at that cover. That is terrific. And in here, they've got reprints of the dailies or the Sundays. This is from, tells you here, let me see if I could find it real quick and share this with you. But there's a lot of historical information there. So this is a story, The Prophet of the Fire Demon, complete continuity, running from March 5th, 1933 to May 21st, 1933. And it's all in color. It's beautiful. And then as you page through the book later, you get past this story, and there's some black and white Murphy Anderson dailies. And if you go a little bit further, um, it shows you some of the Buck Rogers toys that were available. So this is really cool. If you see this, you might want to scoop it up. I picked up Last of the Viking Heroes, and this is by Mike Thibodeau, if I'm saying his name correctly. I can't remember, maybe 7 or 8, 10 issues, something like that. I think I have one. Yeah, have one behind me right there. And this is issue number 4. And I think I have like maybe 4 issues now. And so this is kind of cute because, the title is The Last of the Viking Heroes. And the story is The Lust of the Viking Heroes. So some good girl art in there. Marvel Saga number 4. And this was the only one they had. It's not like they had a run of this sitting there or anything, but I thought this was really cool because it's got the um, origin stories of Magneto, Professor X, Cyclops, and Thor. So it'd be fun to reread about their origins. And I found this one. I like Paul Dini, and this is Madame Mirage number 1. And so I didn't do any research on it, but I guess it's her first appearance, unless this is a second volume or something like that. This is from June of 2007. And here's a pencil sketch of her. And she just looks like a very interesting character. And I like the costume that she has. And there was a picture of her in the side I wanted to share with you when she makes her appearance there. I thought that was really cool. Kind of noir feel. Found a couple issues of The Fury of Firestone. So here's issue number, and these are like mint, like right off the press. Here's issue number 28 from October of 1984. And this is a first appearance of this guy named Slipknot. So that's pretty cool. I loved Firestorm back in the 80s. I was collecting them off of the rack and reading them from DC. Firestorm, I really liked at that time, and The Unknown Soldier and Jonah Hex. Those are the 3 big ones I remember reading, other than superheroes like Flash and the Green Lanterns. Here's issue number 42, another beautiful copy. And this is the all-new Firehawk. So I guess something after the Crisis on Infinite Earths. New costume, new person, something, I don't know, but I thought that was a really cool cover. And for 50 cents, I grabbed it. This is a comic I really like. I think it was a 6-issue series, if I remember correctly. It was called Marine Man by Ian Churchill. And it came out in the early 2000s, I think. Let me see, 2010. And he's kind of like Aquaman or Submariner. He's this underwater character, but really fun art, great coloring, and a fun story. So I always pick these up when I find them cheap, and they usually are cheap. This surprised me. I was able to find a couple of issues of Avengers, issue number 9 and issue number 11. And these were from that story arc. I think it was about 5 or 6 issues about the Infinity Gauntlet. And they used to go for a lot of money. So 50 cents, why not? Okay, going up to 75 cents. I found another Spire Christian comic, Crossfire. I don't know why the other ones were a quarter and this was 75 cents, but still for under $1. And it doesn't have the kind of damage the other one has. Maybe that's why. And a Gray Morrow character. There was a 3-issue storyline called Edge of Chaos that came out in Pacific Comics. And again, I think this was the mid-80s, if I remember correctly, around 84. This was 83. I remember seeing these things on the rack, and I bought Jack Kirby stuff. Captain Victory, I loved it. and Silver Star. And then there's some of the other ones that were available then too. So this was the first issue of Edge of Chaos. And the artwork in here and the coloring, it's so phenomenal. And it's on newsprint, which I really like. So I was really happy to find that. Never seen that before. All right, what I get for $1 at this place? Captain Confederacy, issue #1, but this is the second volume. So it's not his first appearance, but I had never seen this before. I heard about it recently and I came across a copy. So I grabbed that. And then those were all my $1 and under books. These were my $2 books, still great deals. Here's The Mighty Crusaders #2 from January of 1966. I already put this one in my light. The other ones I showed you, I still have to bag, but I wanted to get this one right in. It's a little dirty. I cleaned a little of the whites with an eraser. The back cover's really dirty. And it's got a couple of tears along the side, but gosh, for $2 to find that, I love this kind of stuff. And here is a reprint, a gemstone reprint of Tales Designed to Create an Impact, an EC suspense comic. And this one is on a train platform. So I've been looking for the original one of that, but I grabbed that. Promo comics, they had a few, and I usually find these like in the kids section. That's why I look there. So here's Mickey Mouse and Goofy Explore Energy Conservation. And this was put out by Exxon. So you can see here, Public Affairs Department by Exxon USA. And so it's just, and there were 2 issues. There's that yellow issue too. I got to try to see if I could find that one. But talks about supply and demand of energy. And this one I could not believe. I never saw it before. As soon as I flipped through and it caught my eye, I was like, this has got to be a scarce, more expensive comic. So I picked this one up for $2. It's called Mulligan Stew 4432. And at first glance, it looked like an underground comic from the 70s to me. But what it turns out it was put out by the USDA, and it's about good nutrition. I haven't read it yet, but the 4432 must mean like you need 4 of this and 4 of this and 3 of this and 2 of that. And so I looked it up, and this guy over here looks kind of like a Muppet right there. But I looked it up and it was going for like $10 or $20. So I thought this was a great steal. And in the centerfold, there's like a game that you would take out of the centerfold and cut some game pieces out. So the fact that it's still there is really cool. So I thought that was a really cool promo find. Mulligan Stew 4432. Have you heard about this one before? Because this was news to me. And that's one of the fun things about digging through comics is just finding stuff that you never knew about, and that's cool. And then I found another promo comic, which was put out by Toyota. It's called Spider-Man. And it doesn't say it on the cover, but the indicia says verbal abuse. And so this is telling you about what to do if you're getting emotionally abused. And it's got the Hobgoblin in it. So pretty cool comic. And I was able to find 3 of them. That was pretty cool. And I also found Batman Adventures #15. I love this cover, and it's one I've been looking for. And I just stumbled across that. So that was pretty cool. I like reading the Batman Adventures. The artwork is really a cool style in it. And the coloring and the stories are fun. And lastly, I found another promo comic from 1961 put out by Cities Service Gasoline, Eager Beaver in the Land of the Pioneers. And this was given out when you traveled across the country for the kids to have something to do in the car. So it's full of puzzles and games. And some kid enjoyed this one because they're all mostly done. There's a lot of writing in this book, but wow, how cool is that to find something like that? Very scarce comic. Any of these children's comics are really hard to find because they got used and abused. They loved them. So that was from digging in the bargain boxes and the kids boxes. And then when I went to check out, I noticed something that I hadn't noticed the previous two times I was there, that at the counter behind them, they have some comic books there. And so I was scanning them, and this one caught my eye. All-Star Western number 117, which is the first appearance of Madam 44. And so they had quite a few books up there. They had like the first appearance of Typhoid Mary and Daredevil. They had the first appearance of Iron Fist and Marvel Premiere. They had some good books up there. And so anyway, I had those other ones. I asked to look at this because it just caught my eye. And it's in very nice shape. It was the first appearance of this cool character, Madam 44. And it was in a bag that had the My Comic Shop label there and grade on it. And I looked it up on My Comic Shop, and the price they were asking was about half what it was going for. So they have pretty good deals on even their more expensive books. So that was my haul from McKay's. What do you think of that? Now, let me show you some more cool comic books I have. This comic book is super cool. I recently found out about it and I purchased it. I read it. I totally enjoyed it. It's called the Tick Golden Age comic. So there's the Tick character. And they did this 3-issue run where I guess in the modern Tick comic books, there's references to a previous Tick being a superhero in the Golden Age. I'm not a avid reader of the modern ones. I've read a couple of them, but doing my research, I found that out. So they put together these Golden Age comics about the Tick in the Golden Age, and it's a 3-issue story. It is so well done. And what they did was for each of the issues, they had a couple of different covers to represent like what a Golden Age comic would look like. So this is the variant cover for issue 1, and it looks like an Alex Schoenberg cover, right? All that action going on. It looks almost like a Captain America timely comic. Actually, I think that's what it's modeled on because the Captain America would be red up here, right? So they made these comics. They're also wider. Okay, they're like the dimensions of a Golden Age comic. And the story is hilarious. So I'm going to tell you a few features of this because if you see this and you enjoy campy humor and you enjoy Golden Age comics, I really do think you will get a kick out of this. So it opens up and it tells the origin of the Tick. And so they take all the tropes of the Golden Age and it's in here. So this scientist here who becomes the Tick, he is working on a super serum a la Captain America. And he's going to, instead of testing it on humans, he's going to test it on a Tick. So he injects it into a Tick. And as he does that, a radioactive meteorite and lightning strike his lab, exploding all the chemicals. That kind of reminds me of Superman, the radioactive meteorite, right? And Flash, right? The chemicals in the lab. And while that happens, He does an Egyptian incantation. So that to me is thrown in like Shazam or Isis or Blue Beetle or something like that. Okay. And then lastly, the tick now bites him on the hand, a la Spider-Man, right? And that is how he gets his superpowers. And it is just really funny. The character names in here, they go against this guy who's named Hair Comrade Dr. Scar, right? So it's like here he is right there, Hair Comrade Dr. Scar. And so they're fighting Nazis, they go to Germany, they go to Japan. There's a female superhero in here. What is her name? Queen Hornet or something like that. She's kind of like a little bit like Wonder Woman. Here they are in the Pacific, right? Well done. The in the middle of the book, they have the text story, just like in the old comic books, right? And the characters are hilarious. They go to Japan and they're fighting these two villains named Su Mo and Sam Urai. Here they are, Su Mo and Samurai. Very, very funny humor. Well done. I have this advertisement in here. It's like Little Orphan Annie on the radio when you had to have your like little Ovaltine code ring to decipher what's going on the radio. So they have this here, right? And it says, hey, if you become a uh, member of the Mystic Order of Arachnid Vigilance, the Tick Society, you're going to get your cybernetic ciphermatic decoder, and you could read these. And then on the next page, it says, here's how you get that stuff, right? And it seems like it's a fake ad, but at the bottom it says it's a real ad. So I did a little research and I found out that in fact it was real. And I located one of the kits of becoming a member, right? And so what does it say here? It tells you that if you join this member, you get a membership card, membership button, a drinking straw, a ciphermatic decoder wheel, an 8 by 5 inch photo of the Tick Society handbook, certificate of oneness, and serial numbered spoon. And sure enough, that stuff is all in here, right? Here's the straw, and here's my serial numbered spoon. But the main thing was there's my uh, photo of the tick, right? My certificate. Um, here is the handbook, and here's the key right there, the ciphermatic wheel. So I'll be able to decode. That message. So that's up and coming to decode that message. So anyway, here is issue number 1. This is the variant cover with the kind of Captain America looking Schomburg cover. And here's the variant cover for issue number 2, which is an EC comic looking Golden Age. And there's a great character in here who he's battling, which is his name's Brother Voodoo or something like that. But there he is right there. And then there was a third issue where they did a romance cover of the 50s. And there were other covers available as well. So this one, that I've seen that before, the giant hero towering over the city. This one here, it's kind of like Action Comicsy. And here's a jungle comic looking cover. So well done to the creator of this. And if you want to just have a really fun rollic with reading something, keep an eye out for that. Here's another comic I got. I got this one locally. There's 3 comic stores here locally. I go into them every once in a while. And This is from Infinity Flux. It's Infinity Inc. number 16 from July of 1985. And it's the first appearance of this character, Mr. Bones, who looks a lot like Black Terror's costume. I thought the cover was really cool. I liked the colors, the layout, and it just evoked kind of a feeling of a golden age comic. So I snagged that. They had that at a really good price. This one I got from eBay, really cheap. The cover is detached and a little beat up. It's Boy Commandos issue 13, the winter issue. And I just thought it was a really cool cover with this Buy War Bonds cover. I think I got it for $20. And I thought that was really fair. This might be I think this is the comic I bought from a company called Four Color Comics. And they put a note in there. They said, hey, check our website out because we have a big website of comics and they're cheaper. You don't have to pay the eBay fees. And then a few days later, I got a call from the woman, I guess the wife of the owner, or she's the owner. And she called and just said, hey, just wanted to let you know, check out our website. Real nice. And they have a lot of Golden Age and they're pretty good prices. So got that one. And then to cap it off, this one I got from a comic book store in South Carolina. I was visiting my son over the summer. He was at Camp Lejeune. I was in Florence, South Carolina, passed through it on the way. I think it's called Legend Comics. And I wound up buying this. I've been paying it off for like, I think 6 months. He let me do a payment plan on it. It's Captain America Comics number 26 with a beautiful Alex Schoenberg cover. Really cool underwater scene going on there. And it looks like it's a miscut there, but actually the cover is split and it's slid down in the well. So I'm going to have to pop this out of there and readjust it. But I'm really happy to have this. I've been always wanting to have like either a Captain America or a Submariner or a Human Torch from the golden age of timely comics. And this one presented itself. So I'm really happy to add this to my collection. Very cool cover by Alex Schoenberg. So comic addicts, that's my haul. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.